We have all been intentionally created, which was a decision. Forget time and space for a while. I'm speaking right now in this moment. It is still part of our decision to intentionally live out what has been predestined and created for us. Perception of an experience that we have. So the truth is our own perception of our experience. So first I want to speak about the word destiny. Destiny comes from the word destinar, which is to establish. In other means, you could say that it also means karma. Karma means to take action right now in this moment. Now there was this song from Toto that I listened when I was driving on a highway from my family to the beach in the Philippines. And it literally sang that some people's destiny literally just fly and float by them. And it made me think as if it's this kind of like phenomenon in our lives that is in some way, and some people say that it's established already, that if we don't grasp it, if we don't consciously are aware of ourselves enough, because I feel that self-awareness plays a very important role when it comes to actually partaking in what is already pre-created before we incarnated. Okay, that rhymes. Now, from my own experience, when I look at certain people, including myself, I can come and draw certain conclusions that there could have been alternative timelines that we could have partaken on, alternative realities that align more with the potential that is embedded within our DNA. So let's dive a little bit further into why our DNA and the patterns that we have, the patterns that play themselves out right now in our human vehicle, how that plays a role in our destiny. So when we say destiny, we are speaking of certain experiences and events that inevitably play themselves out, that is beyond our free will or control. Now, to grasp destiny, we need to grasp the concept or the idea that our life is kind of like a story, an unfoldment of patterns that come from aspects of the universe that we have come to embody right now that play themselves out. When we begin to look at our past as though our life is a story, we begin to see that our life is a collection of certain patterns that are just unfolding from there. When we look at the undeniable human aspect of our experience, which is desire, a desire comes up. Might it be a strong emotion that nudges us to externalize a certain feeling? For example, I'm craving food right now, so I will go to this restaurant that just keeps on playing out even visually as a manifestation of this emotion that I have. So when we bring both these things together, we can see that our desire, the human aspect of us, which is a manifestation of certain patterns that play themselves out. Now, these patterns have come as an expression of certain aspects of the universe embedded and encoded within our DNA that literally play themselves out as a story, providing us a certain experience. Now, this experience, we can draw a certain conclusion if we look at our past from a larger perspective, that everything is kind of a story in its unfoldment, meaning that our destiny could be us living out certain patterns that are just encoded within our DNA, meaning that free will to a certain extent doesn't exist. Because what is happening is that we, in this three-dimensional reality, you could look at this from this perspective that we might just be guinea pigs of certain creations and aspects of the universe that are here just played out. The beauty, we are able to witness the complexity, the emotions associated with this experience, and the beautiful, orchestrated, colorful, vivid life that is being given to us. Now, when we speak of these patterns, I want to come to the relational aspect with other human beings. Is it predestined that we meet certain people? Well, if we look at it from this aspect and perspective, if we come down and our intention is to experience certain aspects of the universe translated to three-dimensional experience, such as I want to experience a certain heartbreak because I want to understand deeper what it really means to feel those emotions, what it really means to have the heartbreak kind of grayin up and obscure and veil our experience even more, and to experience a deeper sense of separation, to then come to a deeper understanding that we are not separate. Wow. We inevitably draw, because this is the law of attraction, we inevitably draw people to us that mirror, reflect our projection of this certain aspect of the universe, the pain that is deeply inside of us. Like, we all carry illusions within our DNA that are literally being projected outwards into our physical reality, giving us the experience of this separation so we can understand better who we really are. So yes, it is out of our free will and it is part of our destiny that we meet certain people that inevitably are drawn to us. And this is created before we incarnated. You can kind of imagine that before we incarnate, and this is from my own experience, that we can draw, that we can pick certain shapes of geometry, certain energies, and we all place them into this like funny creation that I now, for example, call myself Ayana. I want to experience this shape of geometry. And now I'm saying geometry because the more that we understand fractals and mathematics, it's another way of understanding a certain truth of our universe. These shapes play themselves out. Other souls, their intention, or maybe souls that we are familiar with, we have incarnated several lifetimes with these souls. Their intention was also to explore together these certain aspects of the universe in this time and space reality. Now, let's just say that time doesn't really exist, but everything is just an unfoldment right now of the potential of experiencing these certain aspects of the universe. These realities, these vibrational realities where people are in resonance with each other's vibration and intention. Imagine that before we incarnate, we lower down our frequency, how frequently energy comes back to the same point. So we find a vibrational resonance in reality with other people who are on their path of experiencing a certain manifestation of the universe translated into experience and three-dimensional perceiving, understanding, sensing, feeling. Now, there's this very big human fear associated with destiny that if we do not live up to our destiny, consider that there is perhaps the possibility that we can misalign with certain vibrational realities that are an extension of the potential that we have within us to actually more directly live up to this certain predestined experience that we have. So let's say that the direction of our life is determined by the deeply embedded patterns that we contain within our living blood and cells. The experience that we see, the experience that we sense, the experience that we feel, the emotions that inevitably rise up in our body as a consequence of what we perceive in our reality, what we project onto reality, the emotions that are then created within our body, the chemicals that come, all of this kind of embedded into this cosmic package which is created. And I think we've all seen this meme of like God pouring like different kinds of like colors into us, you know, like we are just this mixture of the stars. We are the mixture of certain archetypes of the universe. We are a mixture of certain aspects of the universe. And we could say that we are destined to experience these certain aspects of the universe that we have decided to live out. While it may seem that we have decisions to make here and that we can make different decisions based upon which patterns that we choose to live out, life itself, when it comes from a conscious universal standpoint, is all about big and small decisions. We have all been intentionally created, which was a decision. Forget time and space for a while. I'm speaking right now in this moment. It is still part of our decision to intentionally live out what has been predestined and created for us. So the free will aspect of this concept of that everything is predestined, that we are living out certain patterns, is that we can become more conscious of our patterns, that we can become more aware of our life experience, that we can tend to cherish our life experience more, that we can lighten up, the fluidity in which we partake in these patterns even more. That we can take life less serious, that we can see it as a beautiful cosmic dance instead of being a victim to these patterns. And it boils down to a deeper awakening that we can surrender and enjoy even the biggest adversities in our lives, because this is the human experience. The human experience that is playing out, might it be an unfoldment of patterns, or that it is completely a random byproduct of like a cosmic mess. That's bullshit, okay? Like, it's not, I can't, from my own life experience, looking out into life, through the lens of enjoyment and gratitude, and even through the lens of being completely victimized and in a low vibrational like state and perceiving life from a very gray, dark place, I can still see, and I don't think this is even collected from the faith that is gathered, from the trust that is gathered in life. But I think the more we pay attention to life, we can see how perfectly organized everything is. That there is a structure far beyond our minds can grasp that is playing out. And we can even use our mind and our intellect to look into the past and see these patterns. So what I want to add to this is, don't take life too serious and don't be too hard on yourself, because you are doing your best, okay, in every moment. Can you do things even better? Yes, by being more aware and present with what is playing out. Nobody is perfect. Nothing exists such as perfect, except the fundamental structure of the universe itself, which our mind cannot comprehend and grasp anyway. So what we can do is just be aware and try to relish in the complexity that we have chosen to live out right now, that we call our most beautiful inner natural self. Yesterday evening I had just eaten out in Dapur Usada, this vegan restaurant here in Buut in Bali. And I went there because of a strong desire to get a masala dosa, Indian food. I just really craved that, despite that I had already eaten like a profound lunch like in the afternoon, you know. But I was like, I just want to enjoy life. I'm going to do this for the experience. I could have lived up to the desire that was like, no, I'm going to resist like this human aspect of myself that just wants to experience life and just stay at home and just live here like completely cosmic. But I think the beauty of life is that these desires that push us to externalize certain emotions and feelings is what gives us a more richer life experience. We came here to live as a human. I think when we take spirituality too serious, we are enforcing this desire upon us to live a more perfect way of living that is more according to a certain potential of us. But if we look at it from this way, we are already living a perfect life in unfoldment. If we accept our human nature more, if we embrace that, okay, we can make more healthy decisions, but that we are always evolving anyway. Yes, we can observe that many people are still living the same destructive habits over and over again, and they can stay in these patterns. So just as I left the restaurant, I was just really enjoying like the human experience of it, the pain that I experienced previously, and the pleasure of just eating and going out. And I was driving on the road, it was dark, and I looked to the left and I passed by this vegan restaurant called Plant Bistro. And there was this is another desire that just came in a moment, spontaneously, and it was, should I get this ice cream? I had this little conflict within myself, which was, no, if I do this right now, like I'm going to take in too much pleasure, and no, that is not right, this desire is invalid, and, you know, I should restrain from this, you know? Which I have done a lot, but actually it was just a completely human desire to just relish more into the beauty of this experience in that way that my body knew best at that time, you know? So I did, and I just really enjoyed allowing myself to be human at the time. I think the biggest catalyst to change and the best way to align with our destiny is to first accept that the unfoldment of our human nature is already bringing us to the intention that we have established and created that is predestined for us way before we incarnated in this human physical life. And that just by showing up to our experience with the most in the most aware way possible. Now, can we be more aware than awareness itself? Yes. We are always becoming more aware. We are always becoming more conscious. We are always doing our best. Allow yourself to just enjoy being a human and watch your destiny play itself out just right in front of you. Just like I am making this video right now. I could have tried to overcomplicate it and make it perfect according to like certain thoughts that I had of like, if I do it this way, if I write this, everything will become more perfect. I'm not going to deny those things. But there was a stronger intuition within myself that just said, step in front of the camera, get this microphone, just start speaking. So that's what I'm doing. And I feel that that's just part of my destiny. We all just should embrace our humanness even more. To overcomplicate it less, make it less messy by these thoughts that are present. And just live more to what is given to us. Be more selective with which thoughts are actually more beneficial to our destiny. The destiny is there. We already have it right now. The destiny is unfolding, but we can pick and choose certain puzzle pieces and create something beautiful from that. They say that life is made up on the go. The script is being written on the go. That there is perhaps that from Dolores Cannon's perspective, that perhaps there are different alternative and vibrational realities. Or we just come to the understanding that, okay, I allow myself to collect these experiences. I allow myself to draw my own truths and conclusions based on what I perceive, and I go further with that. I want to introduce you to meditative living. Meditative living is as a means to approach ourselves from a place of curiosity, from a place of understanding, so we can confront certain aspects of ourselves, so we can confront certain situations and circumstances that are beyond our control, that happen in our outer world, from a place of calm observation. No matter where you find yourself in your life right now, which circumstances present themselves that might be stressful, are holding you down, are difficult and challenging, you are in a place where you're desperate to learn how to let go. And letting go is an art and a quality that we need to bring into the rest of our lives to properly integrate and maneuver, learn from and move forward from possibly challenging lessons and circumstances that have presented themselves in our lives. Once we begin to awaken to the deeper realities of ourselves, we begin a purgatory process, as though letting go of all old, expired version of ourselves and let them die off. Whilst my time in sadness and heartbreak was beautiful, and I know that it's easy to say this on the other side, it felt like something beyond dying at times, something that I just don't want to touch. As though I'm placed in some laboratory room, flying without any tools, filled with these black, mysterious fumes I'm struggling to avoid, realizing that I'm the one who needs to clear it up, something which is hard to even see through and understand. However, I'm here to tell you that it does not have to be that way, as meditative living holds the exact tools and guided exploration sessions which I have gathered from years and years of meditating, trial and error, and finding ways to let go. These techniques are proven to help you maneuver even the toughest setbacks with grace. Yes, the thickest fumes can be enjoyed, and I am not kidding, because this is how I oftentimes experience these internal wars nowadays. Because the truth is, your body already knows how to do this. It's just that the how can be the challenge. Everything which appears to happen finds its roots from within our internal subconscious world, and even through the second day of meditative living, you will inevitably experience your outer world reflect this new sense of peace that you have become.